Decor, where you'll find quality furniture at a great price.
Trust the local knowledge of the Local 3 Storm Alert team.
Of all the worries of being a homeowner, maybe the worst one is finding that you have foundational water damage. So since the spring rains aren't far off, now is the time to get your basement protected. Nate Everett is with 58 Foundations, and he's happy to kind of give us a 101 this morning on what to start thinking about. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I told you I've lived that life, boy. I had a house that it was an older house, and we just had problems, I think, really with water in the ground. It was almost impossible to keep it out of the basement. Is that common?
It is very common, especially in this part of the country. Water intrusion is a major issue, and that can result in a lot of issues going on in your home, whether it be environmental in the house with the air that you breathe, or it can cause long-lasting damage to your foundation.
Yeah, you had said to me that it's not just the water, but our soil quality too, I guess, so that we end up, radon is a common gas that gets into people's houses.
Absolutely.
What does that end up doing?
Well, radon, the EPA states that long-term it can actually lead to a lot of health problems.
Is that one of the reasons why people have like breathing problems around here?
It can
sometimes?
be, yes ma'am, but mold is also a major contributor to respiratory issues.
Okay, let's talk about 58 Foundations. You've been with them for what, 18 years,
I
something
have.
like that?
Yes ma'am.
So what separates y'all?
So 1958 is when we were started. We are one of the oldest companies in the industry that works on foundation and water management. But primarily what we try to do as a business is give customer an education so that they can make the best decision possible with their home.
Which is very important because it's not always just a one way to attack the problem and then you walk away, right? If you're coming to it late, you may have multiple things to address.
You may, and what may be presenting itself as an issue may just be a symptom of a larger issue.
Okay, so let's say that people are going to take the weekend and do some home inspections of their own. Would they start by looking under the crawl space and then just walking around the outside of the house to look for cracks?
Sure. First of all, I'll try to look on the interior. Drywall is a weak point, and so if you're having moisture issues or foundation issues, sometimes that presents in drywall cracks. So if around the perimeter of your home you have cracks around windows, or you have doors sticking or windows that don't open properly, that would be a great indicator for me. From there I would go and walk the exterior and look at the block foundation before I did anything else.
Okay, so are you saying that if somebody's in their home and they happen to notice in their kitchen, just say, a crack in the drywall, don't take that lightly?
Don't take that lightly, yes ma'am.
What if the crack is not on the first floor but on the second floor, but there's nothing on the first floor? Does that still mean it could be foundational?
It still can be. Usually the higher you go up in floors, the cracks are more pronounced. So if you notice a crack on the top floor that is very visible, there may be a smaller crack on the bottom floor, and that's a result of as you're getting movement, the taller the structure is, the more pronounced it is.
Okay, that makes sense to me. Are all foundational issues water-based?
Not technically, no ma'am. We've had some crazy weather patterns the past few years, and you can actually see more foundation damage from the contraction of soils due to lack of water. So as the ground shrinks and it pulls away from the house, you can actually get a little bit of settlement from a drought.
Or we've had these kind of extremes, right, with this deep, deep cold and then these incredibly hot and dry summers. You're
Absolutely.
saying that
Expansion and contraction can cause fractures in the foundation.
Okay, so if somebody calls you, maybe they even have an encapsulated basement already. A lot of people around here do, but y'all will do that if they don't, correct?
Absolutely, yes ma'am.
When you do the encapsulation, you don't just stop with the laying down of all the plastics. You have to put a dehumidifier in?
Correct, yes ma'am. We have to put a dehumidifier in to manage that environment in that space once it's sealed up.
And then do you come back every so often to check on it?
Yes ma'am, we do offer annual maintenance plans so that we can get in and inspect all the equipment and make sure that everything is operating at max capacity.
Okay, if someone's basement is for the most part dry, but there is some degree of a water issue, do they have to go with an encapsulation or can they do something else?
Not in the basement, and we offer several different solutions and several different options for basements depending on the severity of the issue that they have. So we have a product or a service to match all varying issues that you may have in your basement.
In terms of getting you out there, when they call, is somebody coming out pretty much within a week or so?
Absolutely, yes ma'am. We try to be as punctual as possible
Okay.
and cater to the availability of our homeowners and clients.
There is, it's not an inexpensive remedy if you
Correct.
find that there is a problem, but it pays for itself.
Absolutely. Typically, your home is your biggest investment, and we are here to add value to that home. So a lot of the work that we end up doing is around real estate transactions. We have a lot of homes, and anytime that inspector comes into that home and they see a little bit of mold or they see a little bit of water, they're wanting us to come take a look at it.
All right, let me show people how they can call you then so you can come take a look at it.
All
It's
right.
58 Foundations, founded in 1958. As Nate said, they're the oldest in the industry. So the website is 58foundations.com. You can also give them a call at 441-4199. And if you see that crack in the drywall anywhere in your house, don't take it lightly. Check it out.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Local 3 News, coverage you can count on. Telling your stories from your communities.
Linderman's Furniture bedding sale is key to better sleep and better health. Get a full night's rest with 2